What's up, guys? This is Pavel, the guy that shared a little bit about social selling last time. I got a really good response and really good feedback about the material, so we all enjoyed it. So I thought that I might go a little bit deeper with what works and what doesn't work on LinkedIn. First of all, one thing that I would like to mention about social selling. So LinkedIn also provides a social selling index. So basically from 1 to 100, you might score within LinkedIn profile. So whatever you do on LinkedIn, it's being calculated against your score. My current score is 96 out of 100, which would mean that I'm basically nailing it. But what this actually means is that I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn to build my relationships. And by relationships, I mean like I connect with the right people, I try to comment to the right people, and I try to post also the most valuable content that I can find on the net. So the social selling index is basically being calculated against every feature and everything that you do on the platform. So you spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, but what actually you can get out of it? And yeah, this is a great question. First of all, the social index is there because LinkedIn wants you to stay on their platform and to engage even more than before. If you have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can team up with your colleagues at work, and you can also rank among yourselves. So what could you do actually to make a great social seller or a social selling skill person? Yeah, that's just about right? So first of all, you need to have your profile straight. So if you're a salesperson, and I can guess that you are because you're watching this specific video, which is being addressed to all sales professionals, you need to have a really good photo, a very professional photo that will show your professional approach. Then obviously your description, it needs to match your personality and needs to match your role. So if you are an account executive or a CSM or any role in the company that actually interacts with your customers, you need to be aware that still no one likes to be sold on LinkedIn. So you need to work as a kind of a consultant to pass the right and relevant content to your potential and existing customers, because they are watching at your feed, they are reading, and they are also, and they are sharing and liking your posts. So everything what you do on LinkedIn is quite relevant. So you have the right picture, you have a right description. The third thing, and I think the most outstanding one, is the headliner. So basically what you do, who you are on LinkedIn, doesn't have to be a pure reflection of your current role in the company, but actually what you are providing. And usually by consultative sellers, it's being used to outline what a specific person might get off you, because you're there to provide additional information and additional content. Remember that you are building a credible profile, so definitely you need to be to the point with your headliner. People can guess what you're looking for on LinkedIn currently. So I've been using my LinkedIn profile within different companies for already a couple of nice years, and I've built quite a nice process and how to approach specific prospects, depending on if I'm looking to sell, or I'm looking for someone to join the team, or I'm looking for partners like actually now. So if you check my profile, you can easily see that I'm looking for EMEA partnership for Udemy. So whoever enters my profile immediately knows what I'm seeking for. And if he is from the vertical that I'm really targeting at the moment, they will be triggered immediately by my headliner. So I've been using LinkedIn for a couple of years already. So one thing that I learned, and this comes from any sales kind of basic processes, is that every prospect needs to be nurtured in the right way. So I've mentioned Jeb Blunt. He's a sales trainer. In one of his books, he mentions that existing customer needs to be addressed a couple of times, or from 2 to 7 times, to consider your product as something that he would like to buy. Then obviously there are like tons of people that you haven't met and they don't know you, and possibly like me, your brand and the brand awareness of yourself, and basically awareness of who you are and what you do is very little. So that kind of person takes from 20 up to 40 different touch points. You might connect with them, you might check their profile, so the person will see that you actually saw his or her profile. Then if you connect with them or send a message or post something on the feed that is relatable and they can relate to, it's also being considered as a touch point. Obviously, any call, any email, any text message, this is also a kind of touch point. Whenever you meet with them, if you meet with them on any event outside, like in Dublin, this is also being considered as a touch point. So assuming that you are going after a bunch of people that actually you don't know, you need to think about the whole process in the same way how you approach any existing relationship with any of your friends. It didn't happen overnight. You had to actually cherish the friendship and cherish the relation to actually go to the next level. And you need to think about prospecting and going after sales in the very same manner. You cannot jump on LinkedIn and say like, hey dude, I have some product that you would like to buy. No, this will never happen, and I will preach that shit till the end of my days. From my own experience, I've noticed a couple of elements that actually triggers the prospects pretty nicely. Whenever I want to reach out a specific target group, like first of all, you need to have a target group. You need to have a target and a prospect persona that you want to attract and you want to nurture to the level that you actually can approach them and try to make a sale. So in my case, whenever I have a target persona, so I first of all source them. So I prospect them, create like lead lists, prospects lists, whatever, however you will call them. It's a list. It's a list of hundreds of people, because at the end you need to think about the simple math that regularly like 17% of people might convert at the end of the day. I have the list, so I try to hop on every person profile. And then you need to remember that you need to mingle with your security, that person will also see that you actually visited. You can do it manually, or you can use multiply amount of plugins for Chrome that are out there. But for starters, you can definitely do it manually. It takes you like a couple of minutes every day, and you can actually jump on hundreds and hundreds of people's profiles just to show them that you're interested in them. What usually happens is that 50%, more or less, of the people will see that you also visited their profile, and they will visit you back. So remember about the headliner. Like if you had the headliner set up pretty nicely, you can immediately try to convert them. So if for any reason that person is looking for the specific product that you are also selling, so if the headliner is right and you spotted the right person, there's a high probability that actually that person will message you back that she or he is interested in the product that you are selling. Obviously, this is like a small percentage of people that you will hit. So you need to remember that this is the start of a journey. Next step, to post relevant content on your feed. So you need to post really relevant information regarding the segment that you are trying to address. If this is like a problem or some content around the problem. So obviously you don't have to share an original content of your creation or your company creation, but you can also share relevant stuff that has been posted already, like on news media and your reports. This will be super helpful. Whenever the person actually views your profile and they are interested in you, you will find that posting the relevant content on your feed is also quite important, because then they can refer to a specific element from your feed and find the relevancy towards their own issues and problems. Okay, so this is like step 2. The next thing is finally making a connection. Like, connection is quite crucial, because as you can see, we created the lead list and we haven't approached them immediately. We are not sending them emails, because emails generally suck. I mean, emails are those weird messages that you sometimes receive, which are marked like sponsored. I never find them useful, but people say that they convert pretty well. But to be honest, like the native way to approach people is through a connection and through a note that you can add to the connection message. So you need to really remember that you should make connections on your desktop, because mobile doesn't have the option to add a specific note. It just sends a connection request. The message and the note is very brief, it's very short. The message needs to be really personal. You need to mention at least 3 elements that are related to the specific person. So a name, a position that he or she holds, obviously the name of the company. Because you don't want to look like this is a kind of spam message which you send out to 100, 200 people in the same time. Like you do, but still it needs to feel personal. The message needs to have also the purpose, the value of why that specific person should connect with you on the spot. If the message is personal and if you have a value in the connection, so what that person might get from connecting with you, then definitely you will have a very, very quick connection, and this happens all over again. That person already know that you've been looking at their profile. Then you posted relevant content, you have a really great headline. So there is a sense of building your awareness within this person. So you didn't come across their profile by accident, and they already spotted you. And if you could find their profile on like Facebook or Twitter, follow them, try to comment their posts before, even on LinkedIn, that's even better. So there is a high probability that you will get an instant connection with that person. And now it's time to not messaging that person. Yeah, that might surprise you, but you shouldn't jump on a message instantly and say like, yeah, I have a product, let's have a catch up because I think this might bring you additional value. Obviously, you might be right. The product that you are selling might bring them a significant increase of revenue or the reduction of cost, or maybe this is the holy grail that they are looking for. But you shouldn't do that. You should continue to nurture that person. You should continue to upload relevant stuff to your feed, that person will get more awareness about yourself, about your brand. You should start to comment on their posts. You should also comment on their comments. Try to build this digital relationship from scratch like you would like to. So there is also a slight chance that during those elements, you will be messaged by that person. If the time is right, if the product is amazing, definitely you can count that you will be messaged about your product. That actually shortens the whole sales cycle. But if not, obviously you can be more proactive, and this will be the time that you finally can message that person. You should be very brief, and I think, kind of experience talking now, that your main goal should be to spark additional interest and have a meeting. If that person is in the same town or in the same country, definitely you should meet personally. Like face-to-face meetings are the best. If you are speaking with a foreign country company, you should invest in a video call or at least a phone call. And my personal opinion is that you will not be able to pull more off from LinkedIn. The meeting, the phone call, the additional messages should be the ultimate goal of LinkedIn. This is what I perceive to be social selling. A lot of sales trainers try to rely only on social selling, which is a disaster. You can be a master of social selling, but at the end you need to fill in your pipeline with different sources and different channels of communication. It can't be only social selling. Social selling can help you to build a brand awareness, to spark interest, but at the end you need to make a phone call, you need to meet with them personally. And this is the moment, the first moment that you will start your selling process. Remember that something that works for me doesn't have to work for you. So this is a kind of example that I took from the kind of different playbooks and different approaches throughout the years. you need to think about social selling as a kind of brand awareness building. It's a different layer of marketing. It's kind of free, but still you need to spend a lot of time doing it. So it's not like you will start today and the effects will come tomorrow. I've been building my profile for a couple of years already, and yeah, I can see the effects. So you also need to consider that this is a really long-term arrangement. Creating content, posting relevant information. If you have a corporate marketing and they create reports, they create events, webinars, whatever, use them. Use them to your advantage. So social selling is like a lead generation process, but it just helps your prospecting efforts. Thanks very much. I just outlined the elements that really work for me, and I think this will work for many sales professionals. You need to be very patient, very humble, and definitely you need to give more than you take. And I hope that I explained a little bit more about the whole concept of social selling, which is not selling, but actually building brand awareness. Thanks again, and please, if you like the content, you might as well share it, because sharing is caring. You will just spend a couple of seconds on sharing this content, and for me personally, this is super valuable if you think that the content was interesting, and you can share with people that will also be interested in such content. Thanks again, have a great day, and see you next time.